Dear students of class ninth, this is fifth video and it is related to physical features of India. And in this video, we will discuss about the coastal plains of our country. So, with regard to the coastal plains, they are said to have been formed by both the depositional and erosional work of the rivers and the sea. So, with regard to the peninsular plateau of India, it is bordered by a stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east, and respectively, these are known as the Western Coastal Plain and the Eastern Coastal Plain. So now I am showing map of India and that will help you to know the exact position of the coastal plains. First I am telling you about the eastern coastal plain. So if you will see the position of eastern coastal plain, what you will notice this coastal plain is lying to the east of Eastern Ghat. To the east of Eastern Ghat, we are getting Eastern Coastal Plain. So, if you are getting question to define what do you mean by Eastern Coastal Plain, in very simple sentence, what we can say, a narrow stretch of lowland in between Eastern Ghat and the Bay of Bengal is known as Eastern Coastal Plain. And with regard to the Western Coastal Plain, it is lying to the west of Western Ghat. So here you can see very narrow stretch of lowland just west of the Western Ghat. So this very narrow strip of lowland is termed as Western Coastal Plain. So if you are getting to define, you can define in very simple way a narrow strip of lowland in between Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea is termed as Western Coastal Plain. If you will notice with what you will observe that eastern coastal plain is much wider than the western coastal plain. Now let us discuss about these coastal plains one by one. So first we will discuss about the western coastal plain. So with regard to the western coastal plain of our country, it is running along the Arabian Sea. It can be divided into three sections. First one is Konkan, that is the northern part in between Mumbai to Goa. The central stretch, the central part of the coastal plain is known as Kannad Plain. So this plain lies in the state of Karnataka, and the southern stretch, the southern part is known as Malawar Coast, and this part is lying in the state of Kerala up to the Kanyakumari, or in other words, what we can say from Kerala to Kanyakumari. After that, we will discuss about the eastern coastal plain. So it is running along the Bay of Bengal, and it has been divided into two sections only. The northern part is known as Northern Siraka, and with regard to the southern part, that is known as Coromandel Coast. And what I told you just now, it is wider than the western coastal plain, as a number of east flowing peninsular rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, so these rivers have formed deltas before joining Bay of Bengal. So the eastern coastal plain is much fertile and much wider than the western coastal plain. After that, we will discuss about the islands. So, with regard to the islands, we are having two groups of islands. As territory of our country, one group is lying in the Arabian Sea, that is known as Lakshadweep Islands, and the second group is lying in Bay of Bengal, that is known as Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So first we will discuss about the Lakshadweep Islands. So with regard to the Lakshadweep Islands, these islands are of coral origin, means they have been formed of the skeleton of coral polyps. So due to the deposition of a skeleton of coral polyps, Lakshadweep Islands have been formed, so it is said that they are of coral origin. So they are 36 in number, and these islands were earlier known as Lakadweep, Minicoy, and Amindive. But in 1973, these islands were named as Lakshadweep Islands, and it covers a small area of 32 square kilometer only, and Kavaratti is administrative headquarter of Lakshadweep. So with regard to the Lakshadweep, this group of islands is rich in biodiversity, means different species of plants and animals are growing there, and one island that is known as Pitli Island, it is uninhabited, means people are not living there, and now this island has been developed as a bird sanctuary. After that we will discuss about Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So with regard to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, these islands are about 572 in numbers, and they are lying in Bay of Bengal. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. They can be divided into two sections: in the north, the Andaman, and in the south, as Nicobar. And it is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains. Now let us discuss about some of the other features. So these islands, they are of great strategic importance for our country, and just like Lakshadweep Islands, they are also rich in diversity of flora and fauna. These islands are very close to the equator, so they experience equatorial type of climate, and there is thick growth of vegetation in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. After that, we will discuss new topic, that is the conclusory part of the chapter. So not only in this video but also in previous videos we have discussed about the variations what we are getting in term of relief, or you can say the landforms in our country. Although the physical conditions vary from one part of India to the another, all these physical divisions together form one geographical unit that we are calling as India. So not only are the physical divisions interrelated, they are interdependent also. And we can prove this in another way also. We will take the example of resources, what we had discussed in the previous chapter, that different types of resources are available in different parts of our country. one area may be rich in one type of resource, another area may be rich in another type of resources, but overall development of the country, it is essential that all the resources must be utilized, must be developed in proper way as per the not only requirement of the local people, regional basis, but also it must be utilized in such a way that it may lead to the overall development of our country, and this can be done only if the resources are utilized in planned way manner. So if you want, you can take some examples. If you go through the northern mountainous regions of our country, what you will notice, those areas are rich in water and forest resources. Northern plains are the granaries of our country. They provide the base for early civilization. If we will take the example of peninsular plateau, they are rich in minerals. Different types of minerals are available, and these minerals have played a crucial role in the industrial development of our country. The coastal regions and the island groups provide sites for fishing and port activities. Thus, we can say that all these physiographic features, what we are getting, landforms, what we are getting, have given our country immense future possibilities of development. In the sense, if all these resources what we are getting in different regions of our country, if they are managed in proper way, if they are utilized in planned way manner, then not only our needs will be fulfilled, but also it will lead to the socio-economic development of our country, or you can say the prosperity of our country. And by this way we will able to put our country one among the developed countries of the world. So these are all about the chapters, and remaining question answer part we will do in the next video.